In a concerning development, 10 people have been injured in a stampede at the Bandra railway station. The incident took place in the wee hours at dawn when there was a rush to board the Bandra Gorakhpur Express at platform number 1. The express is a 22-bogie unreserved train running every Sunday at 5:15 a.m. This morning, amidst chaos at the terminus, passengers tried to enter the train when it was in motion. This is what resulted in the stampede. Out of the 10 people injured, 5 were admitted, while 3 injured have been discharged and 2 others who were seriously injured have been shifted to the KEM hospital for further treatment. Amidst all of this, what requires attention is the fact that there is a surge in crowds this festive season, and obviously we need better crowd management, and who will take responsibility for this incident is the big question. Joining us live at this point, Rajalakshmi Joshi, political analyst. Also with us is Naveen Chomal, senior Supreme Court lawyer. Prempal Sharma, former Executive Director, Railway Board, is live with us. Major General J.K. Bansal, former member NDMA, also joins us. Rajalakshmi Joshi, at the end of the day, of course, it is political season in Maharashtra as well. Will such an issue be taken up by anyone? This is an issue which obviously affects the public. These are the issues that need to be spoken about more. But will it, Rajalakshmi Joshi?
Yes, Sudha, it's very sad that, this kind of an incident happening. And to add to it, it is as if to add insult to injury. There is a lot of politics over it. So, now what I can see is in these kind of stampedes, it is usually either due to indiscipline of the people or maybe there is a trigger. So here right now there was a trigger, like as you rightly mentioned, people have started boarding the train even before the train had stopped and even, when the doors were closed. So then that caused some injury, and then that was the trigger for the entire stampede. So thankfully, there were no casualties as such, and there were injuries. But even an injury is something that definitely, it is something like a warning that, such incidents cannot and should not happen in the future, because then now in the next few weeks, we are going to have a whole lot of people trying to travel for either Diwali or Chhath Puja. And so from different places, not just in Bandra. So all of this is definitely something to be looked into. So now, there were these questions coming up, horrifyingly. Some of the political parties always keep mocking the railway minister, saying that, he is more interested in Vande Bharat trains, he is more interested in flagging of trains, and he is not interested in the safety of the passengers. See, now what appalls me is that both are two different issues. Are the passengers not expected to have better trains, better facilities? Should that not be there at the on the table at all? So, the safety is definitely a very crucial issue. And see, this here, it was clearly a case of indiscipline, because there were too many people on a platform that was supposed to accommodate 1,000 people at the max. There were more than 2,500 people. And, it is not as if the railways have not actually accommodated for this increase in the number of people traveling. So, if you look at it, the minister, he has clearly said that they are going to be running 6,000 special trains this festive season. In fact, it is quite more than from the 4,400 trains that were there last year. And this is expected to accommodate more than 1 crore people. And also they have added additional general coaches to 108 trains, and 12,500 coaches have been sanctioned to take care of the extra rush. So it is not as if, the railways is not doing anything about this. From the point of view of the accidents, that is a different issue altogether. That is a case of the Kavach. So the Kavach there again, it is a huge mammoth task, like we have discussed in the past. So now this year is about adding new trains. So, I think that the people also should be a little more sensitive about how, they should be actually approaching all these issues. The train had reached the platform 2 hours before the scheduled time. So it is not as if people did not have enough time and that they should have been in a hurry to board it, otherwise it will go away in 5 minutes. It was there 2 hours before the scheduled time. So, and within that time, even before the train reaches the platform, people start rushing inside. So, it is a very scary situation where I can imagine that, what will happen to the families? How can families ever hope to travel in such a situation? So, I think that, this is something that definitely needs to be taken care of, obviously, at all the different points, because It is not as if there is only one point from where people are going to be going to their native towns. So this, I think, is something that, all political parties should not add fuel to the fire, and they should definitely look at it in a much more mature way, and not make insensitive or immature statements like, oh, you are only interested in adding to Vande Bharat trains. So what will happen is more and more people will be agonized, more and more people will be agitated, and it will only cause much more.
I am fully in consonance with what Rajalakshmi ji said just now, but I am always a supporter of the government, and that we must, as citizens, always support the good work of the government. This type of incidents do keep on happening. Despite that, I would firstly like to say that kindly appreciate that our nation wants to become the Vishwa Guru and an example for the Western world, but the world is watching us. And any such small incidents also that carries a negative impression of our country.
Root cause is there is the insecurity in the mind of passenger. What is to be done? Then there should not be any unreserved compartment. Everybody who is traveling must have a ticket with a seat. And once a person knows that he is having a seat, there is a sense of security, and nobody would like to rush once because there is a sense of insecurity. And why? We are increasing the train, then why there should be the more number of people, there should be a crowd with people going without seats, and even at time they are
the more important is festivals are very important, but whether life is more important or festival is some years back the same happened in Delhi station. Water supply, there are millions, lots of people, they want to do in
it's very easy to blame the passengers, but at the end of the day, Prempal Sharma, were there extra officials on ground who were instructing the passengers where to go, where not to go? Were lines being created or not? That is again a big question. Of course, passengers at the end of the day have to behave in an obedient manner, but are there officials there who are actually queuing them up, who are actually asking them to follow the SOPs? It's very easy to blame.
I'm told that all the 20 or 25 compartments were unreserved. They were general compartments. So the people rushed to the platform in large numbers, thinking that they could probably, first come, first served, they could get into, and that's why a lot of crowd gathered there and there was a stampede. So I think what went wrong was the non-reservation part of it. Free access to the people, it should have been better controlled. More manpower in terms of officials should have been there at the spot.
Okay, let me take that across to Rajalakshmi Joshi as well. Rajalakshmi Joshi, who should be tasked with making these changes now to ensure that such incidents do not repeat?
There are definitely some committees which actually make all these suggestions. So, I think that, all these forums, these citizens forums, I think, they can put across all these points. I think that, this discussion, I think it is a very insightful discussion where, there was this excellent suggestion that you should not have unreserved coaches as far as possible, because yes, it does create a sense of insecurity that people are not sure if they will definitely get a seat or not. So that definitely could add to the kind of anxiety, and added to the fact that there are much more number of people there on the platform. So looking at the crowd, it could have caused some kind of insecurity. But I just wanted to add a couple of points, like on your question to the previous panelists. Like I was telling you earlier, some 1,500 new trains have been added over the number for last year, Uday. And over and above that, there were definitely the presence of RPF and GRP and Home Guard. All those personnel were definitely there. But we have been talking about, definitely I think that the numbers should have been much more. So I hope that, in the future and in the days to come, that the number will be increased. And at the same time, people also will be a little more cautious about how to go about for these holidays. Because a holiday is something that, you should go with caution and not put your life at stake. So thankfully, there were no casualties. But then at the same time, I think that, one has to look at it as something that it has to be a time for celebration, not some time of a tragedy. So this, I think, looking at all of that, the number of trains also have been increased. At the same time, the railways also surely have to look at the timetables of the trains. They have to fit in a whole lot of things. So, in the middle of all of that, I'm sure that they are also trying to do the best. But I would only request the politicians not to mock the Indian Railways for all the better trains and the better facilities that are being added, and only question the railways for the security point of view, from the platform management or from the tracks, etc. So, that kind of a narrative where you're mocking the Vande Bharat train, I think that is a very wrong narrative, talking about how only the rich are being empowered, or, they are being given better facilities. I think that is a very wrong narrative. So looking at the security, I think everybody needs security. Everybody needs all these facilities. So I think that, all of this has to be taken into consideration, and I'm sure that the railways will definitely come up with some better things in the days to come, and maybe in the years to come. Hopefully, we will have a much better railway system. So that I'm looking at it with a lot of hope, Uday. And at the same time, I wish all your viewers.
All right, let's leave it at
Thank you very
that.
much.
My thanks to all of our guests for joining us on this discussion.